Today's episode is brought to you by In My Bag Apparel and Customs. In My Bag is a brand that collaborates with talented artists from across the country to bring some unique and exclusive concepts to life at a reasonable price. For $15 off your first purchase, visit whatnot.com/invite/inmy_bag 2023. That's whatnot.com/invite/inmy_bag 2023 for $15 off your first purchase. And make sure to check them out on Instagram as well at inmy_bag 2023. Before we get into today's episode, I want to introduce you guys to another great podcast called The Better Call Daddy Show featuring Rena Freeman Watts. Each week, Rena interviews somebody and shares their life story. At the end of the episode, you get to hear from her dad, Wayne, who gives his perspective on the stories that were just told. Rena herself has some interesting stories as she's worked for such TV shows like Nanny 911 and The Jerry Springer Show, so you never know what you're going to get every time you pop in. You can listen to The Better Call Daddy Show wherever you get your podcast for free. Remember, smash those 5-star reviews as well. Don't be stingy with them. Did you know that parts of the Great Wall of China are made with sticky rice? Did you actually know that?
Yes, I did.
You knew that?
I like fun facts at almost an autistic level.
Damn it. Every time I do one of these things, everyone goes, "Huh, I never knew that."
Yeah, I want to say it was like something's minute, like 1 to 3% sticky rice. And that's why when they tried to repair parts of the Great Wall without the sticky rice part of the formula, it didn't adhere as well as before.
I think I'm just bummed at the fact that did you know, nobody knew. And
sorry about that, man.
If this was Mythbusters, you busted my myth.
Yeah, I might have been a boring guest for that one. This is going to be our shortest episode ever. Here we go.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Chop and P. Scott. I am your host, Prescott Kelly. Today is Thursday, July 16th. Glad to have you back with us. And I try to be a good expert in nameology. So Sal Zerillo?
Zerillo, very close though.
Zerillo?
Yeah, so the name started as Zerilli with an I at the end, and that's the typical Italian enunciation, best to my knowledge. I may not be perfect, sorry. But my family had to change their name on Ellis Island on the way in, so they changed it to an O. So it takes on more of now of an American enunciation that's it. I'm not a linguistics fucking major. Oh,
again, it's PG-13. Everybody gets one. So
used it up kind of early, but
I was gonna say, we got out the way early. No, you're good, man. But I didn't realize that. I mean, I probably should have, because there is a level of like when you come to this country, there's a chameleon effect that you have to kind of embrace and have to be okay with. Now I've never had to experience it, obviously, but as far as from like actually I guess I would. I'm Kelly. I'm Irish, so I mean I know that my ancestors coming over here probably had to deal with it. I didn't personally, but I kind of get what you're saying is like they had to reacclimate themselves accordingly to. Can we get away from this awful thing to the thing that we think is going to be great?
To an extent. I mean, I slightly deal with it with just my first name. Salvatore is the more proper enunciation.
Ooh,
but I've never one time flinched when somebody called me Salvatore, because that's the Americanized enunciation.
So is that the whole reason why everything that you've done, like, again, you and I, like we've known of each other, but we don't know each other. And is that the whole reason why you just go by Sal, is just kind of
no, go by Sal, because if something's flying at my head, it takes a lot longer to say Salvatore. It already hit me.
That's Sal Duck, Salvatore.
Yeah, exactly.
It's lights
at that point, don't even bother.
That's a good point. The thing is that I don't have that because I go by my middle name, which is Prescott, because James is one syllable. Prescott is not. But also my nickname, P. Scott, is 2 syllables. So it doesn't matter what you do. If you call me by my nickname or the name that I go by, I'm getting clipped no matter what.
Yeah. Duh!
Or P, yeah. But
That's
also
all you
when you say P duck, it's like that's a weird thing to just shout out.
Wow.
But so I got Sal with me. And so you are a huge Lions and Pistons fan. And how did that come to fruition? Because my lineage to the Bills, I think, is much different than how yours is with your favorite teams. How did you become a Lions and Pistons fan altogether?
Mostly by being born here and just watching them growing up with my dad. And then my dad would, because I was born in 89. So I obviously didn't get to sit there and watch the best years of Isaiah Thomas or anything, but I got to hear him kind of, wax lyrical about how good Isaiah was. And then I would watch the VHS as I got a little older, or the games on the ESPN Classic when they used to have it.
The VHSs.
Yeah, they had a couple, not a ton, but I got to watch some Bird and Magic games, some of those Celtics versus those Pistons games, so a little bit of young Michael, like maybe 10, 15 games each guy, nothing extreme.
Can I ask you a question when it comes to Pistons hoops, mostly because I know how the way that I consume sports is much differently than other people do.
Mhm.
And so I know that when people do the you had to be there conversation, like Isaiah Thomas is not up there in the top 10 like goats of all time, right? Like that he's not considered that guy. But
Yeah, I'd say the 10 to 15 or 15 to 20. He's got to be in there in that stage, but not the 10.
sure, and I get that, but it's like when putting fanhood aside, when you saw that dude, what did you actually feel? Because the way that you probably feel about Isaiah Thomas is the way that I feel about Charles Barkley.
It was, to me, it was to an extent kind of like watching Allen Iverson before that, like Allen Iverson's era came around. This just a small guy who's manipulating almost everything. He's getting where he wants. He's doing what he wants, and you can do almost nothing about it.
I just thought I think it's weird to, and you're not wrong. I feel like he was a floor general is what most of us want in a traditional point guard, right? The John Stocktons, it is the Isaiah Thomases. And but it feels like that dude just seemed to, the numbers don't suggest he's as good as he actually was, because that man was a killer. It's almost, to me, they're not as accomplished enough, obviously, but he, to me, if I was going to do a comp as far as the way they played the game, but the accomplishments didn't reflect who they were, is him and Chris Jackson, him and Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, is undersized, great scores, could give you 25, 30 if you needed it, but they knew what their role was and they knew what they were supposed to do. And the best version, but the team needed, was for them to not go get you 40 every night, because it wasn't equivalent to that team's success.
No, yeah, I mostly would agree, because I think if Isaiah Thomas didn't want to get Joe Dumars and Bill and get the ball to Vinny, I bet you he could easily average 30-ish, very close to it at least. Like, the guy could just score. There's what, 2, maybe 3 guys that could even really mess with his day. Everybody else, business as usual. Here we go.
I think so too. And the thing is, when it comes to, I think for me, it's just like I wasn't, when Isaiah Thomas got brought into the league, was I born? Yes. Did I get to watch him in his prime? No, because I'm 42 and he was really coming up in the 80s. So I know of him and of his game. And when I get to see certain things happen, I go, man, this guy was an absolute dog. Beat Bird, beat Jordan, beat the Lakers. This man was a whole different level of competitiveness. And I think what people are taking for granted now is the fact that when they hear him speak, I feel like they think that he's too soft because of his demeanor and the way his accent goes. They don't think that he was that guy. He was that guy.
100% that dude. Like, I still will, at least at this exact moment in time. It might change as we go, but I would die on the hill. He is the third best point guard to ever play basketball. It's Magic.
Ooh.
Steph Curry, I think, just surpassed him in the more recent years. And then it's Zeke.
So you don't have John Stockton even in or Gary. To me, I feel like Gary Payton is underappreciated.
Underappreciated, yeah.
When it comes to that. But so like, if you left Gary Payton off your top 5, I get it. But when you went, your top 3 were Magic. You said Magic, Steph, and Zeke were your top 3?
Yep. And then I think I would go, and this can change from time to time. It's like, what 10 minutes of my day am I in? But I think I would take Jason Kidd at 4. And then, yeah, like Jason Kidd did not have the greatest teams when it came to who should win a championship. That's why he didn't get done till later. But if you look at just his individual game for the time period, his individual numbers, everything about him is broken. He's probably the third best defensive point guard all time behind Chris Paul and Gary Payton. He's one of the best passers anybody has ever seen. It's not like there's there's not a long list of people that are anywhere near his tier of passer.
Yeah, it's not a CVS receipt of that.
No. We can name 3, maybe 5 if we're being very genuine that could pass like Jason Kidd.
Pass better or that's
as like, good. Just as good.
As good. That is the thing is because I know for me, I know that I grew up in the street ball era.
Yes.
Much like us in this and I'm not gonna say that the skip to my lose, but like watching Jason Williams do what he did, God, dude, it was so crazy in real time to see this done because I always played that way, but I knew that my coach benched me the absolute moment that is anything like him.
Back.
I benched him immediately.
Bro, I got stopped in practice for trying that shit one time. Said, no, we don't do that here, sir.
Everybody's doing suicides because of this clown.
Yeah. Do you want to do 100 up? No, I do not want to do 100 up downs. Then don't do that again. Message. Yeah, gotcha.
Understood, good sir.
Yep. Won't happen again. I will make this pass or shoot that jump shot. Got it.
I will chest pass every single
bounce pass. I'll look at my teammate clearly before I do it.
You don't fake back door, right? You don't fake back door. Every hooper knows that. Oh my God. So yeah, I appreciate the fact that you have because I am in the same camp that you land in when it comes to Zeke. I feel like he is one of the 3 or 4 best point guards of all time. And I think that when we've put this into such a vacuum of if you're not the best, you're the worst. And it's like, bro, like it's opinion. It's not fact-based most of the time. But man, Zeke was absolute killer.
And I feel like maybe this is how others don't go about it, but should go about it. I think it's should be like tier list, damn near based. So like my top 3, Steph, Magic, Isaiah, I have them more or less in the same tier. And yes, I do think Magic should be considered the best point ever. But if you want to tell me Isaiah is better than Steph, I'm not going to sit and per se argue with you. I think they're generally same tier of player. They do it very differently. One had more success, and that's why I personally think he should be ranked second. But could he have done that with maybe those Pistons teams? I don't know. I think he had a lot more talent on his teams than Isaiah particularly did. I think Isaiah probably had the least talented amount of teammates compared to teams he competed against as well. When you look at the Lakers, Bulls, and Celtics of that era.
Oh, for sure. And that's the thing is that one of the things that has always irritated me is that it's not just do the results and the end. And when we point to scoreboard, does that matter? Yes. But contextually, if we're talking about individual greatness, it's not always the same. Like you just mentioned with Isaiah, he did not. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that Otis Thorpe was gonna be somebody you could actually depend on. Like this, it was a different game. And the fact that he willed them to back-to-back championships against the guy who's allegedly the GOAT, it's pretty incredible, man. Like that dude was the guy.
And he beat the super team Celtics that had, I think, what was it, 5 Hall of Famers and Larry Bird, a top 10 player in his own right. And then the Magic that had I'm sorry, not the Magic, the Lakers with Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, James Worthy, Michael Cooper, who was one of the most feared wing defenders of his timeline. Like, I know the Pistons by far and away had the best like individual defensive players of that per se. Those few teams, I would put Dennis Rodman a touch above Scottie Pippen. But like Bill Laimbeer's your third best player, and his best ability is he's a thug.
He's the hockey goon. Bill Laimbeer was the hockey goon, and you guys still won back-to-backs. That's crazy.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
I do love so. We've kind of we've reminisced and we've touched on the softer points of hoops history, right? But as a Pistons fan, what are you looking forward to this year? What's kind of the expectation? Because I feel like, and I'm not trying to make this like I thought about this and nobody else did, is I don't believe that anybody thought that Detroit would be the team that they actually were this year, getting to a top 4 seed, being what would most people consider one of the favorites at the beginning of the season. No, but as the season progressed, we kind of got to that where Detroit's that dude or that team, and Cade's that guy. What have you liked about their offseason? What do you not like about it? What's kind of your expectation as far as their season in 2026, 2027?
I think we got leapfrogged by Philadelphia picking up Jaylen Brown, even if they don't come out of the gate hot because they're kind of learning their new teammates. I think they're probably going to be, if not the best, the second best team in the East, right behind New York. I don't see New York going anywhere right now. I personally never bought into the Pistons being a championship caliber team because you have Cade Cunningham and a bunch of guys. And that does not win titles yet. Not in today's league. You don't win with that recipe. You don't win with maybe your best defender or close to your best defender also getting you 10 assists, also getting you 25 points, and everybody else being the Rockettes. Like
the Rockets.
Yes. So as far as our offseason, at this point in time, I absolutely hate it. One, I think it's a loser's game, a loser's move to not have gotten Jaylen Brown for that cheap price. Because I can't imagine a GM that wants to keep their job not wanting Jalen Duren more than they would want Paul George on a team.
I think that's what bugs that. So I 100% agree with you on that. The other part of it is, man, are these GMs just not talking to each other?
Exactly, because
that's what Jaylen Brown went for. I'm pretty sure that 26 of the other 29 teams would have offered more. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. And I know I'm just a guy on a couch, not a GM, and there's probably a good reason for that, but not in this case, I feel very strongly that if you say had 4 first-round picks, Jaylen Brown and Ron Holland to move, as well as some second round and maybe contract matching with other guys, you easily bring in Jaylen Brown and somebody else. Maybe a Trey Murphy. There's somebody else out there that would have still been brought in with that amount of trade assets.
Do you think that? So, kind of moving apart from the actual trade itself, and we'll get the Detroit Lions football in a moment. I'm sorry. But now that we're here and talking about Jaylen Brown and how he was treated, I feel like that man was disrespected at multiple. But the thing is that there's so many levels to this. I feel like the media overhypes him. I think that fans overappreciate him. And the players are going, yeah, that guy's really good. Why the hell are you guys not trying to get this guy? And then we see what it's gone for. I don't know if he is as much of a distraction as people lead on. I feel like this might be a Cal thing, right? We do with Aaron Rodgers. We've done it now with Jaylen Brown's. Like, just because you care about other things, just because you're smart doesn't mean that you're not dedicated to your craft and your sport. But being outspoken, it feels like this is now where this man has done everything for a city that doesn't appreciate everything that he's done. And now he's being outspoken about it. So is he moved because he thinks that he's Jordan when in fans' eyes, he's Pippen? Is that the reason? Because he's been so outspoken about what he's done and accomplished. I don't know what's real, but if I'm a Philly fan, you should be stoked you got this guy right now.
Yeah. The couple Philly people that I bear dealing with on a consistent basis were really happy about the move.
Oh, to me, they washed.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have ice in my mouth. They washed.
Yeah.
They completely washed.
They hosed them.
They just rinsed them with that trade. To me, and again, maybe those trades come to fruition because Boston does have that. They have the almost like a San Antonio, almost like a New England Patriots type of vibe of we'll just develop guys. We'll figure it out. But not without that guy.
Yeah, I feel like you just developed that guy, and it was going pretty well with him and that other guy. Jason Tatum's not a bad basketball player, obviously. So, but hey, and last I checked, it has never worked out for Paul George in the playoffs. And that's not like me trying to be a hater. I love Paul George's game, especially regular season Paul George when he was, more in prime and healthy and all that. But
So
playoff Paul George just doesn't always show up. He's not. I don't even know if he's a great Robin to have.
No, Indiana Pacers Paul George was a different kind of animal.
Yep.
But now the thing is, this is what, oh man, like when we talk about like big threes and moving around, that dude still has a name to him. But he's going to play what, 40 games, maybe max next year for you guys. So when people are trying to,
between him and Embiid, they might get 82 combined.
Thank you. It's like credit scores. Like you guys, you have two people, husband, wife. We have an 800 credit score. Yeah, but you have a 400 and you have a 400. It is not 800. And I don't know what that's supposed to look like.
I'm not 100% sure either, but I guess they'll figure it out.
I mean, I guess that's why they make millions of dollars, and we're just here talking sports on.
And I ended up getting us sidetracked, but as far as the Pistons offseason, Taurean Prince is probably my favorite part of it, and that's both the good and the bad news.
What was it? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you when you first started that. What was that?
Taurean Prince is probably my favorite acquisition of the Pistons offseason, and that's because he's just a really good 3-and-D player. He's just a really good role player, but John Collins can't create his own shot, and we need more shot creation. That's like our biggest need. So it all is going to fall on the rookie, I guess. Okorie, excuse me if I'm not getting that quite right yet. But same problem as last year. We have Cade Cunningham and some other guys, unless Jalen Duren truly takes that next step.
So before we move on to the Lions, it was so funny, like starting like, oh, hoops is going to take a little bit of time. No, we get sidetracked. We get this is why conversations happen, man.
ADHD for the win.
Oh, always a W. And most of the time, it ends up being an L. But when it comes to, there's been a lot of talking points of LeBron maybe joining Detroit. Like it's Philly, it's him going back to the East, whatever. If you guys were able to land LeBron, would you be okay with it? Would you be frustrated? Do you not want him at all? Like what?
I,
Because there's some connection with him actually landing in Detroit.
I'd rather not, because I think it might hurt Cade more than help him as far as what his long term can be, which is a wild thing to say, I know, because he's already pretty close to MVP caliber. But at the same time, if LeBron James comes here, I'm not gonna sit here and be mad about it, because I do think it, as maybe for the whole team, might be that guy we kind of need to take that next step. Because in reality, what the Pistons really need is another guy that can go control the freaking offense. And LeBron, even at what 905 years old now, can still go control an offense extremely well.
Give or take a few days, but
yeah, he can still just go out there, get close to a triple double, score efficiently, pass efficiently. I'm not going to be upset if he shows up.
So if he shows up again, I believe that he is, if he does end up in Detroit, I feel like that isn't the actual landing point. It doesn't, not to discredit Detroit. I just don't feel like that narratively and storyline wise makes the most sense.
Neither do I, but also him being a born and raised Ohioan, we kind of have this thing where we just don't really like each other. And there's not even a particularly real reason. But Ohio State can go to hell, and that's how they feel about us too. So, like, I feel like it'd be really wild if he showed up here, and he might want to get extra security at his house back home while he's here.
I mean, you're not wrong, but I feel like that's how Cleveland fans feel if he were to actually sign with Golden State too. They're like, bro, we to me personally, if there's any athlete who has really earned the ability to write their own story, it is this guy. Like, just go be happy.
Frankly, we've heard a lot of people get compared to a lot of people as far as when they were coming out of high school or college. LeBron James is maybe the only person I've ever seen that was compared to a top 3 all-time NBA player, much less being compared to freaking Michael Jordan, who may have actually met the expectation
when he was 17.
Yeah. And I still have Mike above LeBron, but I'm at the point where I'm not going to argue with anybody who puts LeBron number 1. Like, I think he has as legitimate a resume as anybody else does for GOAT.
And so for me personally, we will move on to Detroit football. I'm the same way. I don't believe in GOATs at all. It's a theory that I don't subscribe to. But I feel like if you defend one person that exponentially, it's because you're threatened by the person that you feel is the unequivocal.
Yeah, I don't think there's nothing unequivocal. Again, back to the tiers thing. I would put LeBron, Michael Jordan, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the same tier. Like, all 3 of them have a legitimate claim to GOAT, especially if you want to talk about GOAT of just basketball, period. It might be Kareem. The dude was a champion for what? Every year of college and high school too, as the legend goes.
Well, and that's the thing, like when we come like to football, is Marcus Allen the best running back of all time? No, but he is absolutely the most accomplished.
He's incredible. But yeah, I don't think Marcus Allen would crack my top 5.
Well, exactly. And then like that's where we're kind of parsing words and going back and forth. But the thing is, like, I appreciate the fact that you're willing to have the conversation, because you having MJ as your top tier best of all time is not.
It's not original.
It doesn't blow my mind. It's not a hot. Right. If you were to say LeBron was, same thing. But the fact that like you understand, like there's different timelines, there's different players and ownership and things like that. All these things are kind of intertwined. Mm-hmm. And if you believe one thing, that's fine. But the people who are really big stands of Bron, I defend Bron more than I probably should, but it's because these MJ stands annoy the absolute hell out of me. But,
dude, they can be bad.
But the Bron stands aren't making the case any better. Same thing with Kobe and things like that. So I just believe these guys are all great. To me, there's 5 or 6 dudes, because if rings only matter, it's Russell. If it's MVPs, or if it's like, you can make your argument of who the best player is based on your criteria. But the fact to say like it's not close just shows that you weren't even open to having the conversation, and that's a problem.
You're too close-minded at that stage. Yeah. I don't think, you can't have a conversation with that type of person because they don't listen. Well, unless it's what they want to hear.
For sure. Yeah. And like, again, like I prefer the way that Bron played basketball when he first got in the league? Yeah, I do. I like the pass first person as opposed to the person who takes more shots. Like, and that's just me as a person. Like, I get it. But to say that it's not even close one way or the other is disingenuous, disrespectful, and man, it is just lazy as a person to not even consider somebody else to be that's where I land.
Yeah, I'm pretty much on the exact same page with your opinion. Unless you're saying something ridiculous like Kelly Tropicka or Bonzi Wells is the GOAT, I'll have a conversation.
Well, the thing is, like, I don't know if you know, but Wally Zerbiak exists. So.
I'm sorry. We got this deep into the GOAT conversation, but nobody mentioned White Mamba, Brian Scalabrine.
This is why I had you on.
I'm very disappointed in both of us for that.
The thing is, I never talked to you before today, and I need to make you an absolute goddamn staple on this show because you get me, dude.
Yeah. Man, Wally Zerbiak was not on my freaking bingo card for today.
I could have gone. Ooh. Let's do this before we move on to Detroit football. Random NBA players.
Okay.
Just like, because dudes can do this. We can do this for like 5 hours. Nobody cares. I'll go Greg Ostertag.
I'm going to start off real strong. Eddie Jones.
Oh, I like Eddie Jones.
He was a dog. Ooh, Eric Snow.
Oh.
The GOAT. He carried LeBron and Allen Iverson to finals. People just don't give that guy any credit.
Olden Polynice.
Oh, shit.
I got you, dog.
Damn. Oh, man. I don't even know how to pronounce this guy's name, but I drafted him in a 2K one time, and I think it was Zion Lee. It was yeah, exactly. He started for the Dallas Mavericks at one point a long time ago. It was in the 90s, I want to say, maybe 2000s.
Oh, I'm trying to like really dig deep in the archives because when I said Olden Polynice, I even kind of shocked myself.
That was incredible. No, this guy, I don't know. I don't think I would know him if it wasn't for playing 2K games. And he so happened to be on the rosters. And I dunked on him a couple times with different players. He couldn't jump like that. I was looking for him.
How tall are you, by the way? Like, you look like you might be like 6'6".
No, in real life, I'm 5'10". I was on video game. I dunked on him with other guys. At one point in high school, I have one in-game dunk, and it was probably should have been called the goaltending, but no one was paying attention. The ball was kind of coming back off the rim, and I got a free run from the three-point line. And I had just enough jump to get about half my hand above the rim. So I put that boy back. And I'm pretty sure everyone was just shocked I got that high off the ground. So no one thought to call a goaltend.
Hey, man, you got to get him where you fit in.
Yeah.
Also,
I got my one. I'll go to the grave talking about it because that's the most exciting basketball moment of my entire life.
Actually, you know what? I've done this like 4 different times now. It sounds like you used to hoop. So I'll tell my story afterwards. Who's the most famous person that you ever hooped against?
Oh, man. I don't think I've actually ever played against anybody famous. Not that I'd caught or knew.
So nobody who's actually played in the NBA?
No. I think I played against a guy that claimed to be a MAC-10 top prospect at one point. And I'll give him this. He played basketball like he was a top 10 prospect of a division. But so I did a lot of passing in that game. He was doing pretty good. He didn't really need my help like that. Here you go, dude. Let's go win us this game. I'll get back on defense. You got this.
So I've only played against one person that's ever played in the NBA.
Mhm.
And it was funny because so I was, probably 14 years old. I was older than that. I was probably 16 or 17. But there was a military base next to us, and we're just running and gunning, right? And somebody goes, "That's the phenom freshman." I'm like, man, whatever, man. Like, I don't care. Like, I'll put a jumper in his eye, and I did a couple different times because hoops was my thing, and I put a couple jumpers in this guy. I'm like, this guy isn't even that good. Then I had to face him in real time in the state championship, and that dude hung 47. And that man, his name is Mario Chalmers.
Oh wow, yeah, but there's levels to the game, bro. Mario Chalmers might not be great in the NBA, but he would have touched up everybody we've ever met.
Oh man, this man just put us to shame. And I thought, like, what do you mean freshman phenom at Bartlett High School? That's not a big deal. I put some jumpers in his eye. Nope. When it mattered, it mattered to him. He
was just jogging to get cardio in, bro.
That's all me as cardio. You're 100% accurate on that.
All right, but we probably should get to football.
We absolutely should. So the Lions coming up. What are you excited about? What do you think the record is? Because I scrolled through their schedule before you and I actually got on here. So I have an expectation in my mind. What have you like?
I haven't looked at our schedule yet, but what I'm hoping for as a fan is it's a bit of a bounce back, not a full bounce back to that. What was it? 15 wins we had a couple years ago. Yeah. But I'm hoping we finish second in the division. I actually think the Bears are going to win the division this year for the first.
Really?
And I think we're going to compete with the Packers more than the Vikings for second place. Not trying to disrespect the Vikings. I think Kyler Murray's a solid upgrade, and they're in a much better place than they were last year. But if the Lions come back to where they're supposed to be, and the secondary that is held together by rubber bands and hopes and dreams plays reasonable enough.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yes. Like I have no idea how this is going to work. But like, I think who's our second best corner now that Terry Arnold's been arrested and he was ass anyways.
Is it still
Rock Yun-Sin? Something like that.
Oh my God. You guys traded. That's right. You guys traded from him from Indianapolis, right?
Yeah, I think it was Indy. So we have him. We got the kid from Florida State and crap. I should have looked before we got on here. We have somebody else, but like unless Racknaw comes out of absolutely nowhere and becomes the second coming of Sauce Gardner, like rookie form Sauce Gardner, we're in trouble secondary wise. Kirby Joseph might be bone on bone in his knee. Like there's no telling. There's no real words coming out on what's going to happen with Kirby. And without Kirby, our secondary is in much, much lesser shape because he just covered up mistakes like getting there.
Do you think that the upgrade from, and I say upgrade because you know as well as I do, it's a quarterback.
It's a relative term.
It's it's a pejorative thing. Do you think that Kyler, one, is he actually going to be the starter week one? Because I don't see how he's not. But is he that exponentially that much more of an upgrade than JJ McCarthy? Because I believe he is. But
I just want to make this next part clear so people don't think I'm being ridiculous. When I say I could do what he couldn't do, I say that as an insult to the NFL guy, not pretending I could play in the NFL. So let's make that clear. There's passes that JJ McCartney missed last year because he had his hand in the wrong position that I bet you I could have made as long as the offensive line protected me like I was their mother. and there's nobody within 10 feet. Like, he had so much space, and he just blew a pass. He just out threw Justin Jefferson with a guy 3 steps behind him, and he was like 10 yards away. No, dude, come on. I don't think I've thrown a football like in a game for 10 years, and I bet you I still could make that type of pass. And you're in the league.
So you're pretty confident that the Vikings will finish 4th.
I wouldn't call it. I think it's a general toss-up in the entire division. One or two things goes wrong for any one of the teams, and they're in last. One thing goes right, and but I think Kyler's upgrade. If Kevin O'Connell is the quarterback whisperer that we've all come to believe he is, then Kyler Murray could have, statistically speaking, a top 12 to 8 season.
If we think that he's Ben Johnson, and if Justin Jefferson is right, and that's where we're alleging that this potential could reach that apex. Yeah, like Kyler Murray should throw for 4,200 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 9 picks. But
yeah, something in that general range. Maybe run in another 4 or 5 because he's still got legs that work.
They're tiny, but he still has them.
Yeah, he has to get a lot of steps in and move 15 yards. But
it's like when I was his Fitbit doesn't work the same as ours. But I was thinking about this before we actually started. I had the Lions schedule brought up, and I know that, well, of course my phone's gonna be stupid now, but what's kind of, as I'm pulling that up, what do you think the floor is for Detroit, and what do you think the ceiling is?
The floor is a repeat of last season. I would hope that's our floor, at least. If we do worse than that, I'm going to be a very sad panda. Our ceiling is probably around 13 wins. We have a soft schedule. I'm pretty sure we actually are considered like have one of the easier schedules in the league coming into this year compared to last year. So I really think 12 to 14 is possible, and anything less than 10 is we might have to start thinking about who's in management and things like that and making some moves.
I'm not going to lie.
Adjustments.
So I actually had the exact same thought process as you, because when I looked at your schedule, I said, again, if everything clean sheet, everybody's healthy, because you don't know what quarterback might go down, or
well, if we lose Goff, Gibbs, or Hutchinson, we are all of a sudden this completely different team. Like, who's our backup now? Kyle Allen?
I actually think if you lose Goff, it's fine.
I'm an actual card-carrying member of the Jared Goff hater club, and I have been since he was in LA. But at the same time, like, Jared Goff has been pretty good. Hello, Sasha. Did you want to get in on this podcast? What is your opinion on Jared Goff?
Meow.
Yeah, that's good. I agree.
Mid.
Exactly. Nailed it. But we don't have a backup that I want to see on the field. So I hope Goff stays standing for now.
The thing for me is that, because I have always, to be completely transparent and fair, I don't feel like Jared Goff is a great quarterback. I've never.
Just as somebody who's watched all of him the last few years, I think the one thing he may do more than just one thing, but the one thing I can peg and say he's absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, completely elite at is a blitz read. That dude knows how to see that a blitz is coming and put the ball where it's supposed to go. But he moves with the same movement. My TV can move laterally just about as fast as Jared Goff. And that just doesn't work in the league anymore.
I've never heard that comp, but that's so good.
Yeah, like, and I get that he's playing against phenomenal athletes, so he just looks slower than he actually is. But you can count the yard markers when the guy's running. 1 yard, 2 yard. Oh, they got 7 that time. Like,
I will say this: you're not wrong when it comes to the non-athleticism. When you said that, it instantly triggered me back to Tom Brady.
Exactly. That's his running comparison.
Juking out Brian Urlacher. Oh my God. It was
Urlacher was expecting a slide and Brady caught him off guard because it was the only time he made a move in his whole life. Yeah, I bet it did work, dude. You couldn't do it twice.
Do it again.
No, you got your get out of jail free card. Do not try it again. He's gonna hit you with the do not pass go, do not collect $200.
Oh, it was so funny to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like golf to me is I've always just I don't know, man. Like we think that we understand how good quarterbacks are or aren't based on certain statistics, right? Like it's supposed to tell us how good they are, but it's not really taking into consideration down distance, time of possession, like there's
everything else.
But when I hear a golf, I go, that's just Ryan Gosling in a Hawaiian
beautiful. Go be a fucking model and leave me alone. Like, stop it. Why do you even want to get CTE for a living? If I looked like that, I wouldn't have a real job.
Oh, for sure. If I looked like him, like you, I'd have my house already paid for.
Fair. I'd have several really nice things paid for, and I wouldn't have worked very hard for any of it. I would have hit him with, what was it, the Zoolander. Did you see that? I went left. Steel Magnum.
Blue steel, right?
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
But it's like I appreciate your realism as far as what the ceiling is, because I'm the same way. I look at that Detroit schedule, and if let's just say everybody's healthy on both squads, bare minimum, that's a 7 to 8 win team. But there's some coin flip games, right? Like there's Buffalo, there's Baltimore,
yep. And then we have six coin flip games pretty much in the division.
That's exactly. Well, Minnesota is the one where I'm like, you could they
should be better, but Brian Flores and Kevin O'Connell have proven they make teams significantly better than they are on paper. It's like the Wade Phillips effect. Wade Phillips would go to a defense that was ranked 25th the year before, have the exact same players, and have them in the top 10.
Yeah, they didn't win anything, but they at least looked better on that side of the ball, though.
Yeah, it's not my fault they didn't get Kyle Shanahan.
Don't you Wade Phillips me. But I was kind of the same way. I looked at their schedule, and it does. If everything lays flat, if you will, it does feel like the Lions are at bare minimum, rock bottom, a 7-win team.
Yeah, like barring catastrophic events or injury, I don't see how they're not. I think even if you got rid of the offensive line, quarterback, and the receivers, and you just gave it to Jahmyr Gibbs every down, we're still going to win 4 or 5.
That dude's so good. It's stupid.
Stupid good, yeah. Like him and Big John Robinson is that 1-2 is going to be nasty for a little bit, for a good period of time here. I'm excited to be a fan.
I mean, Montgomery's been in the league for a minute. I think that your threshold of having both those guys and having be impactful is going to be 2 at max. Like from now
don't got Montgomery anymore. We sent him to Houston.
Oh, that's right. You guys didn't.
Yeah, we got Isaiah Pacheco, if I'm saying his name, or Pacheco, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
That's how much I care about sports. Not how much I care about it.
We traded Montgomery for, I want to say, a draft pick, Juice Scruggs, and something else. I forget all the details now, but we shipped him.
What is Juice Scruggs?
He is an offensive lineman. That's all I got for you, bro. Especially because he came from the Texans, which I didn't actually know they had an offensive line last year. I know they trotted out 5 dudes in the same uniform, but I didn't see them block for shit.
Yeah, 1, they're all square boxes, and 2, was the juice worth the squeeze?
Apparently not. or he wouldn't have gotten traded along with draft picks for a 28-year-old running back
No.
in today's NFL.
So I think that you and I have a very similar expectation of what the Lions are. Like the floor is 7-8. If even if everything, there's no catastrophic injuries, things like that. That worst case scenario, that's a 7-8 team or 7-8 win team, and best case scenario, I could see that team going 13-4. If everything, if all the chips lay great. The other thing I want to bring out to you before, we hang it up, or if you have other things you want to talk about, is have you seen the NFL press GMs, the people who are supposed to be the experts on quarterback play, what the hierarchy of quarterbacks?
No, but is it like first tier, second tier, et cetera, et cetera? I'd probably have to guess.
It's a top 10 of, okay. There we go. All right, I got it. So it is ranked by coaches, executive, and scouts polls.
Okay.
A poll of all three people or three demographics, if you will. Mm-hmm. Who do you think is the top rated quarterback going into this year?
If you're, in my opinion, it'd still be Patrick Mahomes, even if he's only got one ACL. Josh Allen would also be right up there.
Remember DeJuan Blair for the Spurs? He didn't have either one of them.
Yes. Oh man, it took me a minute to remember him. That's a deep pull.
That's a deep pull. I got you, dog. I'm always here for it. But so Mahomes is number 2 going into this year.
That's fair. He's been down statistically.
Statistically, yeah. But so coaches, execs, and scouts polls is Allen's number 1.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I don't think it does because I've been a Bills fan. I'm also a self-deprecating Bills fan. But down the year last year, whatever, they have him 1, Mahomes 2.
The reason this makes sense to me is because you said Patrick Mahomes wasn't number 1. So if it wasn't going to be Josh Allen at that point, just fuck your whole list.
Well, the other thing too is we know how Madden rankings work. So I was expecting.
Does anybody actually know how they work? Because I think those guys just make crap up and sell it to us.
Oh, well, I don't think so. But what Madden does is they placate to me, and I've been on this platform and this soapbox for a long time, is that like the old Madden games, remember like when you got to the playoffs with a team that was trash and you would get the experience boost and it was exponential. Like it was over the top. These guys
were trying to beat a 93 overall with a 78.
Exactly. And I feel like they're doing the same thing because Matt Stafford is a 99 overall in Madden, but he's number 3 on the quarterbacks list for this poll. So the top 10 quarterback, I know it's stupid.
I'm just a very biased man towards Matthew Stafford because I watched him gut it out and waste his freaking career and body on the Detroit Lions. And like I will never pretend I am a Rams fan. Let me be very clear. I am not a Rams fan until they make it to the playoffs, until Matthew Stafford retires. I will root for that man like he is still my home, like still the quarterback of the Lions until it's over.
You know what? We weren't here, and we'll get back to this quarterback list in a moment. But what I really want to know is that whenever you know how the dummies of sports work, is that, the moment you went someplace else, now you got good, or you had, you had Calvin Johnson. Wasn't that good enough? You act like the upper ownership, the coaching staff, the defense, everything around him. The moment that I saw, like, I know what moment you're talking about. I think they were playing Cleveland, right? And he separated his shoulder, and dude still went out.
Rookie season. Yep. Threw the game-winning touchdown after getting his shit popped in, I'm pretty sure. Then ran off and fucking collapsed. Stinking collapsed.
We can't re-edit it out. But regardless, like, I know what you're talking about, and it's so infuriating to me when people say, he had Calvin Johnson.
Name 3 offensive linemen that made it to a Pro Bowl during the Matthew Stafford era in Detroit. And then do me one more. Name a single 1,000-yard running back from Matthew Stafford's entire time as a Detroit Lion.
Did Reggie Bush have 1,000 yards in Detroit?
I'm pretty sure. And if somebody out there can get on Google and double check me right now, please do. But I'm pretty sure he didn't have one.
I'm pretty sure that you're right, but yeah, it's always so infuriating to me. Like, well, if he's so good, why didn't he elevate X, Y, and Z? I'm like, you've got it. you have
unreasonable expectations for a team that has Matthew Stafford and nobody else worth mentioning a lot of the time. Yes, he had Calvin. Yes, he sometimes had Golden Tate, who was a hell of a second receiver. But offensive lines that were mostly never good. Coaches that were mostly never good and were relegated back to coordinator the second we got rid of them. A defense that was mostly never good outside of Darius Slay, who we alienated. Thanks, Matt Patricia. I hope you stub your toe and fall into a bed of Legos tonight. And I'm only saying that because what I actually feel is much, much worse and harsh for him, but I can't say that on live.
Part of me is like, I hope that you don't even have kids. And you have Legos just because you fucking weirdo.
I hope random strangers just throw Legos through your window. So you have to keep stepping on them because you deserve it.
You don't want somebody to egg his house. You want them to Lego his house.
Yes. Or just sneak in and move his coffee table. I don't want violent crime against him, but just move his coffee table an inch to the left or right so that he kicks it when he doesn't expect to.
Just a smidge. I will tell you that like sports fans have gotten so wild, and like it's not new, but when you mentioned that, it immediately went back to my brain of when Matt Schaub had, I think 5 out of 7 games where he threw a pick 6, and people showed up at his house and were threatening him. I was like, this is why.
Don't do that. Like it's still just a game. And like literally, I have hard feelings towards Matt Patricia because of what he did here, but I still don't want like something like truly, truly bad to happen to him. I just want him to be mildly inconvenienced constantly.
I love that. Yeah, your life will never be as perfect as you want it to be.
I want there always to be one piece of gravel that he can't get out of his sock.
God, dude, I swear to God, you and I are the same person. But getting back to the top 10 course, Jesus, dude, you landed the dismount on that one. I'm not gonna lie to you. But the top 10 quarterbacks from coaches, executive, and scouts poll is 1 Allen, which I don't agree with, even as a Bills fan. 2 Mahomes, 3 Stafford, 4 Burrow, 5 Lamar, and then we get into Dak, Herbert, Mayo, Goff, Caleb. And the one that kind of confuses me the most is that Dak, because people
at
love
that ranking. Yes.
I think it's odd, but it's also Caleb being that low when people talk as highly as they do of him. And honestly, I think Herbert's too high, and I think that Drake May should not be on this list at all because of one run. I don't believe in him quite yet.
I always say I want to see you do it again before I fully commit to somebody. But if we're going to play what we saw last season game, I think Drake May can be no lower than 6th.
If we're playing the game of what we saw last year, I think that's fair. But what's also crazy is in that top 10 that I just shared, Sam Darnold wasn't on it at all.
Because he's Sam Darnold. We all know exactly who he is.
But that's the thing, is that when I'm 100% with you on that assessment, but the problem is the way that people push things down our throat of this guy's supposed to be. We know what Sam Darnold is. Like the whole avoiding the I saw ghosts thing. Like I can get it. I can appreciate him just being authentic and saying, you know what, this league is different than I thought, man. And playing that defense, I was seeing ghosts. I can appreciate that. But also the fact that some people had him actually going back, people had Geno Smith in the MVP conversation 4 or 5 years ago when he was like, when the Seahawks were what, 5-2. I hate the fact that we've dumbed this down to the fact of if you're the quarterback and if your team is overexceeding, you get to be an MVP frontrunner. But also the fact that this man, every single year, every single year, if you win the championship, if you win the Super Bowl, you get to be on a top 10 list. Jalen Hurts was that guy, but this guy still isn't there, which is crazy. It's not crazy to me because I agree with it, but the fact that he's not there just shows how much people actually don't legitimately think that he's the starting quarterback.
And I probably would have Hurts in the top 10 still. I think, and like he's not I don't think he's the greatest quarterback ever, but I think outside of like the years where they had offensive coordinators that are so bad they should have gotten fired after the 4th week, he's shown to be a very reasonable, maybe second tier quarterback in the league. The league, whatever tier you have under elite, I think that's kind of where Hurts belongs because at the end of the day, the dude wins.
But see, that's the thing is like whenever it comes to that, when it comes down to quarterbacks, like he was ranked in this poll, the one that I gave you, he was ranked 17th, which means that he is a below average quarterback.
Yeah, based on last year, I won't argue that. Based on what I personally think I see, and I won't pretend I'm the utmost expert on the Eagles. I honestly don't watch them as much as I watch other teams because they're the Eagles, and I don't like Philadelphia people. You guys suck. You're a-holes. You know it, team.
They're largely terrible.
but like I would put him in just under elite at worst tier 3, which is where I have Jared Goff, which is a guy that can still win you a Super Bowl as long as you don't ask them to exceed their job. They're there to do a job, not win you the Super Bowl.
So at that point, now that we're actually at this point, because I love having these kind of contractual conversations because the end result of wins, losses doesn't really excite me as much. What I really care about is the finance and the domino effect of somebody gets paid a certain amount because of they win X amount or because you're the quarterback, so on and so forth. So when it comes to things like Jared Goff, when he got traded, it was, why would you trade for this dude on purpose and then pay him?
Yeah. Because I would have made that a 3-team trade and sent him somewhere else for more draft picks.
There's that, and then when it comes to other quarterbacks, and when it's the off season and we have time, this is I love this about people, but it also irritates the absolute hell out of me is the fact that people who love sports have this in them, but they don't have it in them in the moment. Like when there's no football going on, all of a sudden they can talk about how salaries don't make sense for one player or whatever. But when the season happens, it's you got to pay this quarterback. And I have been telling people for years, guys like the Blake Bortles, the Zach Wilsons, the Brock Osweilers, like what you're doing is we can't lose him. Yes, you can.
Yeah, you absolutely can lose all of those guys.
You can lose
actually.
The quarter, but fans are so dumb when they say he led us to a playoff run or whatever, or a deep playoff run.
And
how can we not pay him? I don't know, man. There's to me, there are 4 or 5 guys when it comes to quarterback position that you pay a blank check to and you go, you get this. Everybody else, as long as we're the right defense, coordinators, coaches, upper management, everybody else, y'all can get peanuts. But 4 or 5 dudes, I will write a blank check to. And no, but Justin Herbert is out here making $70 billion and is 0-3 in the playoffs and has a 65 quarterback rating and twice as many turnovers as touchdowns, but we still consider him a top 10 quarterback. How the hell is that real?
I don't know, but I would also say something similar because I think Sam Darnold got paid what, 30 mil? I'd rather have Darnold at 30 mil and give me the other 25 million back to spend on other players compared to having Jared Goff. I think Goff's a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. I don't want anybody to confuse that. Sure. But I would rather have $25 extra million and Sam Darnold.
See, and that's the thing though. Like the perception matters, and I feel like that gets lost on fans as they don't think about the actual personal investment that comes from as we just look at them as players. We look at them as entertainment, but the players themselves look at them as, how the hell are you going to pay this guy this much and not me? And when it comes to Sam Darnold, which is a perfect example, is that he was not good in New York, and then he wasn't good in Carolina. He was resurrected-ish, if you will, in San Francisco. And he took basically a mid-starting quarterback contract with the Seahawks, which is great. Like you said, if you can get that, that's the way that you should do it. But that's not how starting quarterbacks largely get paid. Like that's the anomaly. That's the
and it makes it hard to bring those guys in for the most part. It's hard to even kind of put together a team that just did what the Seahawks did, where you can just bring in Sam Darnold at $30 million a year, and all of a sudden you're a Super Bowl team. I don't think most teams have that makeup.
No, they largely don't. It's more of the way that I look at it is, starting quarterback is so starved at for the position, right? But it's also the fact that if you have a starting quarterback that you believe in, you're willing to give up 50, 60. We're getting to a point where it's going to be $70 million a year pretty soon.
So wild.
And I get it. The money is stupid, but I'm not going to get in somebody else's pocket. The money is what it is.
Owners make billions. Players can make as many millions a year as they want. It'll never bother me.
And exactly. I'm in the same boat. What I'm mostly looking at is what you're making in relation to how good your counterparts are. So when I see Sam Darnold making $30 million a year as opposed to, Josh Allen, are you 60% as good as Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson?
I'd say he's in that general range. That's a reasonable assessment.
I think so too. And the thing, but the problem is that he had to resurrect it. That's the thing, is he was so downtrodden where he had to take 1-year deals and minimums, and he signed his extension, which is fine. And I think that $30 million a year is perfectly fine for that guy. But if we replicate the exact same thing with Sam Darnold as somebody else, 30 mil is not going to be the expectation. It is going to be, I'm the Super Bowl winning MVP.
Pay me
$75 million a year.
Yeah. And that's what it is now. Jared Goff, I think, got paid over $50 million. I'm pretty sure he made more than Patrick Mahomes.
There was a point in time where he made more money than Patrick Mahomes annually.
Yeah, who's the most physically gifted quarterback in the NFL. I don't see any way people would tell you anybody but Patrick Mahomes is actually the best quarterback if everybody has the same team and everything, blah, blah, blah.
Can I ask you a question as far as
Sure.
We'll get out of here soon because we've been at this for a little over an hour, and I do appreciate your time. Always like, share, subscribe, smash the 5-star reviews, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, you can find this thing for free. I don't give it away that way. That's just how they do it. But as far as who do you think is going to be the actual dark horse this year? Because I feel like everybody has their own, and it's usually like, as a Bills fan, they're always talking about, it might be the Dolphins. The Dolphins are cheeks, and we know this. Is there a team that you really think is going to be able to go from either worst to first, or was a single win team to double digit? Is there somebody on your radar that you have really said, watch out for this squad because this might be a problem?
I don't really see that this year. I would say my dark horses are honestly going to be more like Detroit and Philly having big bounce backs more than a traditional dark horse. I think
Philly's gonna have a big bounce back. Philly's gonna have a big bounce back, even with getting rid of AJ Brown.
I think Philadelphia's biggest problem was their offensive coordinator. I think Devontae Smith has wide receiver, like maybe not, and I'm not talking finals, or I'm sorry, I'm not talking fantasy football wide receiver one here. I'm talking football team's wide receiver one. I think Devontae's that good. I liked what they got behind him in Wicks and Hollywood and Mekhi Lemon. I like Hurts overall as a quarterback. Saquon Barkley's still alive and still apparently a very good running back. So, like, I don't think this team is just all of a sudden gone. I think they're right there. And if they fix the offensive coordinator problem, all of a sudden they're right back in the conversation that they were in 2 years ago.
The thing about when it comes to Philadelphia for me is sometimes there is an addition by subtraction, right? And I'm not trying to say that I feel like AJ Brown is.
That's a TBD situation for sure.
And that's TBD. For sure. That could make Drake May look like he's a top 5 quarterback overall and going forward, or it could be like, hey, he's Diva Randy Moss, but it wasn't Diva Randy Moss. It was just him in Oakland, and nobody.
We'll see if this is how it plays out for Hurts. But as somebody who watched Stafford with and without Calvin, I'll tell you that I think I think Matthew Stafford became a better quarterback when Calvin Johnson wasn't there, because when Calvin Johnson was there, there was this, I call it the F it rule. F it. Calvin's over there somewhere. And you should just throw it. And you know what? I'm not going to hate on that because it worked. Even when you played backyard football, if you didn't know where to go, you just chuck it to your best receiver and hope he catches it over 4 guys.
Oh, that guy is super tall, super fast, and has great hands. Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Just yeet it up there. Go get it, bro. Like, I did my job. I got it to you. So,
well, and that's kind of like when we talked about earlier is that, there's the, well, Matt Stafford should have been better because he had Calvin Johnson. It's like, yeah, he had one. Like, there's other levels to this. And yeah, if I had Calvin Johnson, I would throw it to that guy every single.
What do you mean I'm going to go through my reads? My read is he's 6'5", bro, and he jumps higher than everybody else, and he catches everything. I made my read.
I know he's built like LeBron, and he's going against 5'10" corners. Yeah, I'll throw the fade route to him every damn time.
Yeah. What do you mean I'm going to the other wide receiver? I didn't know you hired somebody else.
My wide receiver depth chart is Megatron, and then it's Bumblebee.
Yeah, bro. Are you wide open? And if you're not named Calvin Johnson, are you wide open? Like, they didn't even put a cornerback on that side of the field. If the answer is yes, I'll throw it to you. If the answer is no, we'll see what happens, dude.
That Saints clip is crazy when he's triple teamed.
Yes.
Bananas.
And I want to say there was a playoff game before that where they pretty much had a moving secret security box around him. It looked like they had 2 guys behind him and 2 guys in front of him. And it still didn't fully work. I think he still had like 100 yards. Like, that's the most broken crap since Randy Moss.
I think what's so wild too is the fact that he went to Georgia Tech,
yes,
which is where largely wide receivers go to die.
Yeah, I was going to say, do people actually know that Georgia Tech exists if it wasn't for watching college drafts?
Chris Paul went to Georgia Tech. Oh, no, he went to Wake Forest, right?
Yeah, Chris Paul, I don't remember. I'm bad with it. I know. Did he go to Wake? I'd have to look.
I think it was Wake, but either way, I look bad as far as bringing it up in conversation where it could be even contradicted.
But so back to where we were going. That's why I think Hurts might just all of a sudden be a better quarterback now that he actually has maybe 2 or 3 guys that you could consider a first target, compared to just AJ Brown. Also, and this goes for a lot of wide receivers. I'm not just trying to take a shot at AJ here. Wide receivers are divas. They're crybabies. They're open every play, and some of them are just more vocal about, I need the ball thrown to me a lot. There's not a lot of Amon St. Browns that just go out there and they're going to I'll block, I'll do this, I'll do that, and they don't cry if they only get 3 targets in a game. But there's a lot of guys, and now that maybe that guy's not there, maybe the culture change does a lot for everybody else too.
You're right. There's not a whole lot of Hines Wards or Anquan Boltons.
Yeah. A receiver especially is a very diva-heavy position.
It is, but I mean, I feel like that's most positions, and like I feel like we've gotten to a point where we kind of culturally accept that that's how all these players are, except for quarterback. Like, the quarterback's supposed to be the quote unquote CEO, and that's supposed to be
you can't have a diva as a quarterback. Doesn't work.
I think you can and can, but it's all result driven though, right? Like you can understand that some person's good at or better than you are, but do you say it out loud? I feel like that's kind of how these.
Not unless I'm talking to the coaching staff behind closed doors about where I want to be on the depth chart.
You act, Kyler Murray. You shut your mouth.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry. You put who above me, sir? Have you watched football?
Can I do want to ask you one thing. This was not on the docket, and we never brought this up. Can I get your honest opinion on Daniel Jones?
It's the Sam Darnold thing all of a sudden all over again, because I'd have never told you derpy Indiana Jones would ever be a real NFL QB, and now all of a sudden he had the Colts legitimately in the Super Bowl conversation, even if it did take an MVP caliber effort from Jonathan Taylor.
It's so crazy to me. Like, oh my God, it was
that's really the guy that was just on the Jets and fumbled against air. Or did he fumble or just trip against the air? Like, he got tackled by air one time, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, the turf monster got him. And they paid him. It wasn't like Indy paid him that moment.
I'm pretty sure and they let Saquon Barkley go because you don't pay a guy $40 million a year. I hand it off to a guy who's worth 12. Well, you probably should have been fired that day.
Oh it's so infuriating. And this is what I was telling you about. Like, when we talk about when quarterbacks get paid, it's how can you lose this guy? You won a playoff game on mistake.
Yeah,
with Daniel Jones.
It wouldn't have been me. I'm just a guy on a couch, and I probably am not good enough to actually run an NFL franchise. But every now and again, I'm not going to be wrong. And I would have kept Saquon Barkley and traded Daniel Jones for a bag of chips and a couple draft picks. Family size bag of chips. I want a big bag of chips, not some BS fun size bag. But I still traded them.
Yeah, the share size is not fun because it's not really shareable. I want it for me personally. If it's a shareable size,
I'm fat. Get that nonsense out of here. Like, share with who?
But no, the Daniel Jones thing to me was absolutely crazy. It made no sense on them keeping him and then re-signing him. It
was mind-boggling.
But it always comes back to, like, just me personally, when I see certain things of, what do you mean you can't lose this mid-level quarterback? Yes, you can. I don't care that he got you to the playoffs and won a playoff game. You got so fixated on the quarterback.
You're familiar with the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia meme, right? Where Charlie's pointing at the thing. And that's how they Jedi mind trick themselves into signing these mid-level quarterbacks.
I actually think that this is what I feel is actually more. This is more. I don't want to make this like conspiratorial, but when it comes to salaries, right? It is the players are under a salary cap. The coaches are not.
Mm-hmm.
You can pay whatever you want to for whatever player you think that is, or whatever coach you think is going to be the guy. And they're okay with making mistakes because they know that they can just refresh the system. Mostly now because like the Matthew Stafford, I think, was the last draft. I may have that timeline wrong. It was like him, Jamarcus Russell. There was somebody like when you really had a salary cap issue if you overpaid for like the starting quarterback. But like at this point in time, it was like, whatever, man, we'll throw money at anybody, and they just don't care.
And they were paying the cats right out of college then. Oh, it's your first year in the NFL. How would you like to make $35 million a year, sir? You never threw a football. Why is he getting paid that much?
At least now, and we know that at that point in time, it was not on the up and up, but
Mm,
professionally,
right.
they could say we're paying you as opposed to the sponsors and the donors and things like that. But I do think there's a level of these I lost my goddamn train of thought. I had something very profound and I lost it. But
I hate when
either
that
way,
happens.
it's so stupid, man. Like
Yeah.
why do brains work that way?
But you can remember song lyrics from a song you haven't heard since 2007, I bet.
Somebody once told me.
The world is gonna roll me. There's a couple people watching this that are way too young to understand what just happened.
Well, unless they've seen Shrek, then maybe they'll understand that they're kids.
Yeah.
But
Shrek is also a freaking masterpiece. So
that was one of the things I put on the universe too, is like what's the best Disney Pixar villain of all time? I got some good ones.
Ooh.
I don't have like a definitive number one, but do you have one that's kind of rattling in your brain? Because I don't have I can't say that I can say I have a GOAT best villain of Disney and Pixar, but I have a couple that are kind of in the woodwork.
The biggest villain of Disney is freaking Walt Disney.
Oh,
Nazi sympathizer. That's the GOAT villain of Disney. Like, to be very real about it.
There's part of me that says I can never have you on again. There's part of me that says I can never not have you on again. That was genius.
Yeah, if I had to pick just one, I'd probably go with Walt.
Oh my god, dude!
Other than that, I won't call them the best because there's cases for more than for other people too. But I'm going to go with my personal favorite is Scar. I think he has a very good reason to kind of be a villain, and he's also like he's such a manipulative dick that you're so happy when the hyenas finish him off at the end, and that's what you want from a good villain. You want them to be hated, and like, but you want, as a reasonable adult, you want to see kind of you want to be capable of seeing where they're coming from, but also be happy when they get what should be coming to them.
I never really thought of it that way. And Max says, yo, P. Scott and Sal, what's good? Mac Brooks of the Mac Truck Podcast. Glad to see you back over here in the chat. I didn't really think of it that way because when I think of who's the best villain, it really depends on what you're asking me. Who is the best villain as far as how can I justify?
Yeah, I guess what's the criteria? Is it just how evil is somebody?
Well, and that's why I don't necessarily think of it as just how bad. I look at it as like best villain is like there's a great backstory, and then there's also a reason as to why you ended up why you are. Like that, those two things kind of matter. If I'm saying best bad person ever, I can empathize on how you got to the road that where you got to.
The best bad person might be Aladdin. Bro just out here fucking faking it until he makes it to try to trick the princess, bro.
Yo, I never thought of him as a bad guy, but that's low-key fucking funny. That's a great take, dude.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna just say he's a terrible, terrible person. My man's got he got a royal flush in his hand, and he played the shit right out of it.
He's the worst person in the street that.
Yeah, like my man, Street Rat, stop that. And then he went on to, I've got the princess in the bag, bro. And he didn't do it through non-nefarious means. It's not like he got a real job and and made some stock on Wall Street and made $1 million, and now he's swooning this woman. No, my man just wished for some fucking nice clothes, and then he walked down Wall Street with Prince Ali, fabulous, Alibaba, and all of a sudden he's got the princess.
The fact that you said my mind went to NAAN for the bread.
I didn't even mean to do it like that, but that's actually really
funny. Actually, but the thing is, like, when it comes to those types of conversations, like, that's why I like having people on, because I never once would have thought that. I thought Aladdin was a bad person. And I don't think that you're saying that, but it was kind of.
And I'm not even saying I wouldn't have done the same thing, but I can't tell you you're a hero for it either, because that's not on the up and up. Heroes are on the up and up.
You know who's not on the up and up? Pepe Le Pew. That man
ain't never been on the up and up.
No, that man should have been canceled in 1960.
My man should be locked up. Throw away the key. We have plenty of evidence. Your Honor, I've seen the tapes myself. It's a menace. Get him out of here.
But I think when I broached this subject, I was met with Scar as the best villain. Scar was on the table. Ursula was on there too.
Ursula's up there, yeah. I can see that.
And like, for me personally, because I just think about things differently, I thought Lotsa, the bear from the bad bear in Toy Story 3 that was trying to burn all the toys.
Oh, I wouldn't have even thought of that one.
That's the guy who I think, like, that might be the best villain of all of them, because he was so inviting. He was so welcoming and warming to these characters that were already cast away by Andy. And then they come in here and he's like, yeah, we got you, baby boy. Don't
Jim James? Is that the guy who it was in Jamestown? What was that guy's name? Jim James?
The guy who voiced him?
No, the guy the Jamestown tragedy. He took a bunch of people to an island, and when they were going to get raided, he had them drink Kool-Aid with cyanide.
Oh,
that's who that bear reminds me of.
Oh, oh my God. I was just trying to have a wholesome conversation with you, and now we're doing.
But that's who the bear reminds me of. Like, he's like, yes, come here, my child. I will make your life better. Now burn. Like,
whoa, that was pretty deep, dog. Like, I was not expecting that. Anyway, so before we hang it up, would you like to bring anything else up? Conversational pieces is sports wise, Lions, Pistons, just anything else that's kind of going through the sports Rolodex.
I've heard the Pistons linked to Kevin Durant very recently. I don't know how much smoke to that fire there is, but I would be really, if it was only a 1 or 2 year contract and we don't, you know what I mean, but put the whole checkbook on it, I would not mind seeing Kevin Durant come to town, because once again, we need a guy who creates his own shot. Kevin Durant, I don't care if he's now or 65, can still just stop and shoot over most players.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 6'3" and 42, and I can do the exact same thing, but they're not going to pay me. They're not going to pay me $48 million a year to do it.
I'm jealous that they won't pay me to do anything either, because.
And honestly, I'll take a pay cut. I'll do it for $26 million.
I'll take the vetty minimum, bro. I'll be the whole bench warmer for you. You don't need another guy. I'm gonna keep all of these seats warm, coach.
This man said, I will be a professional clapper and give you.
Yeah, I got this. Oh, no, dog. You got it, bro. I will make up all the handshakes. I got this. I am the team morale hire.
I don't think that people appreciate that enough. Like, professional dapper and professional handshaker should be a thing.
You need a team morale guy. It's the personality hire of most job places. You know that one guy out of the 30-man pack that actually doesn't ever carry his weight on a work day, but he keeps everybody smiling and moving along happy? That's his value to your company.
That's largely me.
Yeah. Might be me at my current job. I don't know yet. It's possible though.
Well, tell you what, before we hang it up, you got anything else you want to?
I just really appreciate you having me on. I had a lot of fun with this.
I did too, man. And it's one of those things where I always want to like kind of reach out. And I know that being in Alaska, I'm somebody who is not on the radar for a lot of people. And I totally understand why. But I love having people on to show their experience, where they're from, what their passions are, why they became certain fans of certain things, whether it's sports or not. And the fact that you took, again, 2 hours out of your day to do this with me really means a lot. And I'm
happy to do it, man. Have me on again anytime.
I promise you, dude, I will have you on, and maybe even with CR McGee, because he's a Bears fan, and I know that y'all know each other. That might be a fun one, man.
Man, if he's watching, hey, screw you, dude. Hope your team finishes second in the division, and I hope we knock you out of the playoffs. I hope it's embarrassing too. Like, I want a 40-0 game. I want it to be demoralizing, so you're mad for like 2 days.
If it ends up being 40-0, it will not be a 2-day thing. Him and I talked for 40 minutes yesterday. Him and I are really good friends, I believe, at least. And he is going to come after you.
I don't actually live in Detroit then, bro. Don't look for me here. I'm actually in California. Go look in LA.
No, there's not an angry bone in that guy's body. But everybody from the 313, don't you please bother me is what his house is. That's going to be his day. But you guys know the drill. Stay up, stay blessed. And again, like, share, subscribe, smash the 5-star reviews. The audio podcast will be available wherever you get your podcasts for free. And we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Later, everybody.